There are many challenges that freshmen at St. Olaf face, and I think loneliness and finding your place in the community are two really big ones. For me personally, some things that helped was I realized a lot of people are going through the same thing as me, and I also made connections really early on. I think I asked my teammates a lot of questions about registration, things to do on campus, and what classes to take. And I also, in my classes, made friends kind of early on, and we got together and did homework and reflected on class material. And those are some connections and friends that I have today that I am so glad that I made really early on.
Within all of this is the social pressure to be out with friends all the time. However, oftentimes it helps just to allocate time to be by yourself. Whether that's going out for a walk, listening to music, or simply meditating. Things like this can actually help us accomplish a more balanced lifestyle.
College is never a super easy transition, and everyone experiences it really differently. For me, I grew up like 45 minutes away from St. Olaf, and there were still days where I was super homesick and even lonely, even when I was with people. So all those feelings, never feel bad for them, but try not to ignore them either, and tell people about them, whether it's your coach or your teammates or your roommate, or if you live in Kit like me, your roommates. Yeah, I probably talked to my JC the most about those things, and we were really close at the end of the year.
For me, the transition to college kind of took a long time. I played volleyball, and I remember during preseason freshman year just being so stressed and overwhelmed. And it was so weird waking up to my teammates that I had, because I just didn't know them, and I was used to playing with people that I had known for years and like always going home to my family. But after some time, I really got used to the people and realized that they became my family, and when I would go home I would be excited to be coming back to St. Olaf, because that became and is now my home.
Yeah, I don't think there's like a specific day that you wake up and are just like, this place is home now or anything. But I think it's just a transition, and then you kind of look back over a few weeks or a few months and say like, wow, I feel way more comfortable here. And there were definitely days that like, yeah, you just miss what's comfortable to you, but I think as time goes on, you just kind of have to wait it out, and eventually like those relationships deepen, and like they become, like Em said, your family. But yeah, it's definitely normal to feel lonely and just kind of weird with the people you're with because you're not used to them, but everyone goes through it, and it's something that I don't know, gets better, and you get used to the people here at Olaf.
Once school starts, like, I found the campus to be very welcoming, with open arms. Everyone is really nice. If you have trouble finding a class, they're there. Just ask anyone that's walking by. And then, honestly, the best way to find a sense of belonging, to find your people, is just talk. Just say hi, or like good morning, good afternoon. Don't sit alone somewhere. If you're sitting alone, you like to be alone, sure. But if you don't want to be alone, talk to somebody. There's people everywhere. And I mean, cracking a joke in the lunch line or just anything works great, all right? Yeah, that's the best way to find a sense of belonging. Find your people. Just talk.
Yeah, never stop finding your community either. Like, there's never a time where you reach, you're like, yeah, I have enough friends, or I know the coolest people on campus. Continually reach out to people and build those relationships, because it's a 4-year, you're here for 4 years. And yeah, don't even think you have to try to figure it out your freshman year, because you probably won't.
The hardest part for me was maintaining a healthy balance between athletics, academics, and other friendships I had outside of my sports teams. especially because at times I felt like I was devoting more time into one of these areas as opposed to all three. But I think as time went on and with the help of older players, I really learned how to devote all my time equally and really enhance my experience here.
Well, my biggest challenge my first year was adjusting to dealing with like the rigor of the academics here and then having football on top of it. I transferred from a few different schools, so I kind of had some experience with college football and being in class, but this was definitely like the hardest academic school that I'd ever gone to. So I knew that I could just kind of do what I usually do and kind of get by. But it's funny because my first test that I ever took here, I got a 50% on. So I got the test back and it was 50%. And I traditionally do well in school, and my heart dropped into my stomach and I didn't know what I was going to do. It was my first grade. Like, it was a terrible way to start off. But then I guess as I started to go on, I worked with my professors, I worked with the coaches to kind of find more time for me to study and do things like that. It was tough because every one of our SI sessions was right in the middle of practice. Even on the weekends, we had games and things like that, and I was physically tired, and it really like struck me emotionally because I had never had to deal really with like academic failure, but I had never experienced a school that was as rigorous as St. Olaf. So just being able to work with the professors who understood that I was playing football, I was being hurt, I was tired and everything, I was able to kind of rebound and then go from there.
One of the greatest challenges that I found coming into college was balance. Whether it was working with school, faith, soccer, or other extracurriculars, at times it became really overwhelming. So something that I found that was really useful was allocating and prioritization. What I mean by that is basically assessing what I kind of valued in my life, setting meaningful goals for how I wanted to accomplish that, and then finally allocating time to actually work closer to those goals and values. Now, I know this is way easier said than done, but that is something that is super useful.
I think the thing that I really struggled with my freshman year, probably the most, was having too much free time. I was really busy in high school. I was involved in a lot of clubs and sports, and activities, everything. And so managing what free time I had was a lot easier in high school because I didn't have a lot of free time. So coming to college and only taking class 3 times a week and then upping my workload was a lot. So I really wasn't necessarily prepared for that. So time management was a big one that I struggled with. In addition, I didn't really learn how to study until even really my end of my sophomore year at St. Olaf, and that I wish I would have spent some time really devoting myself to learning how to study early.
But the biggest thing for me too is my advice is don't compare your friends here and the people here to your friends from back home. Because if you think about it, you've known your high school friends and the people back home for years, and you have a ton of memories with them, and the people that you're getting to know here you've only known for weeks. And trust me, by the end of your senior year, the people that you meet here will be your best friends.